The following program is intended for mature audiences.
A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
And welcome into the Wicked Weed studio. Merry Draftmas Eve to all. It is the Sportsocracy. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Caleb Peak. Filling in for Jeremy Greene. We are hot and heavy on all of the draft prep here in the Sportsocracy, continuing to roll out our 7-round mock drafts team by team. Hit that subscribe button. You will get all of the videos when they instant premiere right here on YouTube. And, of course, we're getting all the teams out before the NFL draft. So today is going to be an aggressive day here in the Wicked Weed studio. Lots of camera time for me. And, frankly, I'm a camera whore. So, hey.
Your day started early this morning. I know you love it.
Oh, yeah.
I know you love it when the spotlight's on.
I love this time of year. It's the anticipation building up to the NFL draft and who's going to take who and how wrong were we? Because that's always the reaction that we have the day after of, so we lay out all these mock drafts, we're doing all these 7-round mock draft videos, and it's going to end up hitting like 20, maybe 20% of the picks will be accurate.
And if I'm not mistaken, Jeremy has a final 1-round mock draft coming out, I believe, for the ESPN Radio show. So we're not done yet. Yeah. It just keeps changing. It keeps morphing and transitioning. That's what makes it so much fun.
Absolutely. And we are going to be here all 3 days of the NFL draft live with you, round for round, pick for pick, minute by minute. When they are on, we will be on. And it all starts at 7 o'clock. Tomorrow night.
Don't miss the mullet. You got to be here for it.
That's the first time I've said that. This is the first time I've actually said tomorrow today, which is Merry Draftmas.
Merry Draftmas indeed.
Well, Draftmas Eve to all. We still, by the way, Jeremy, don't write a note right now. Don't forget we need the Draftmas tree. We got to get the Draftmas tree from your house here.
Oh, Draftmas tree! Oh, Draftmas tree!
Jameis Winston's
he's seriously a hell of a singer, folks. Let's be honest. We got a lot to talk about, though, because we have things leading up to the NFL draft that are affecting how the draft is going to shake out. Obviously, my favorite news this morning, he's back, baby. AB is back in town, and it's the last piece to the puzzle. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers now bringing back every friggin' pertinent member of the Super Bowl team. In fact, I think Jeremy told me this morning there was only one guy from the whole team that hasn't been brought back for this let's go for 2 year, and it was Joe Haeg, which should tell you a lot about how they're looking forward to going into this season with year 2 of Tom Brady winning the Super Bowl last year. I'm so excited. I know it's going to be a letdown. Just let me have my damn moment.
You should be excited about this. If I was a Tampa Bay fan, I'd be a little more excited and not quite as salty as I am this morning.
And
you can live without Joe Haeg.
Look, you can make it. This was never in doubt. Antonio Brown was going to come back. There's not another team in the NFL, I think, that wants to go on this ride. I think everybody's just willing to let Tampa have this, have Antonio Brown. I think they know it's going to blow up in their face at some point, or at least that's the thought of everybody else in the league. I mean, the guy's a 7-time Pro Bowler. He's one of the greatest wide receivers of all time.
Sure.
I mean, he's getting this 1-year deal worth up to $6.5 million. He's getting like $3 million base salary this year. It's not, but nobody wants that headache. Nobody else wanted to jump on it, and Tom has had an effect on Antonio. I have to believe that.
And that's so important because Tom is really the last great player coach in the NFL. I read this story on ESPN a couple of weeks ago about, it was John Madden's 80-something birthday. I'm not sure how old the legend is, but talking about how he had a cornerback that played safety. He didn't want to transition to cornerback, and John convinced him that he needed to make this transition, and he turned out to be one of the greatest cornerbacks that ever played for John Madden.
Right.
And that's exactly what Tom Brady's been able to do with AB. He's taken him under his wing when nobody else wanted him, when he was in legal trouble, when he was falling out of the league. Tom Brady said, come play with me. I'll make you better. And he won a Super Bowl ring, really against all odds. So, and here he is coming back. Now, the thing about AB is he'll never get more than a 1-year deal ever again. He's just like Tom Brady in that regard. He's in the twilight of his career, and the Tampa Bay Bucs are wise to try to ride this thing out as long as they can.
And maybe 2 years is enough. Maybe 2 years is enough for the league to go. He's been, if he's able to, keep his image clean and stay out of trouble, maybe next year somebody else will be like, you know what, we need that 1-year mercenary. you know.
And that's exactly what he is. He's a striker.
I don't know, Green Bay Packers maybe? You know.
Couldn't hurt.
They won't get there again, and then they'll think maybe we need another wide receiver and take a chance on it. I don't know who it could be. Somebody might take this year and go, okay, now it's time to give him another shot. But so since he's been in Tampa Bay, he hasn't had any issues that we know about. It seems like he's been, you know, keeping the image clean. He's been living with Tom. I don't know if that's going to continue for another year. For now, Tom feels like it's, you know, okay for the little birdie to leave the nest. You're good. You know, this is the next step in the Antonio Brown rehab process. Okay, now you don't have to live with me anymore. Now you can go get your own apartment, and we'll trust you. But you're, you know, maybe they'll put him in the boathouse of Tom's mansion.
You know who my favorite comp for AB is? Jeremy Lin.
Jeremy Lin.
Yeah, it's different sport, different athlete, and obviously Jeremy Lin isn't, you know, he doesn't have quite the personality, we'll put it, of Antonio Brown. But Jeremy Lin was as good as he was until he wasn't good anymore. And after that, he was gone. He was of no further use to the New York Knicks. He was no further use to anyone. I think he's playing in the G League at this point. He's still in the NBA organization, but he's not relevant anymore.
So if you substitute production for character issues, that's your.
There we go.
That's that's
what I'm trying to get at. Yeah, because AB is going to be useful. He's going to be around as long as he is useful.
Right.
The second he becomes a problem, the second those numbers fall off.
Got you.
Gone.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah, Chuck G in the comments. Fire those cannons, baby. It is time.
You're not going to get that out of me.
Oh, we're going for two. We're going for two. Fire them cannons. By golly, put more powder in those things.
By golly, I wish we
The
would stop
Miami
that.
Dolphins have made a trade right before the draft here. They are sending Eric Flowers to the Washington football team. Eric Flowers, he was a high draft pick as a tackle. He didn't work out at tackle. He goes to Miami, becomes a guard, gets a little bit better reputation as a guard. And then Miami is now flipping him to the Washington football team. Dolphins are going to pay $6 million in a signing bonus. Washington's going to pay him $3 million in base salary, so he's going to make $9 million guaranteed next year. This, though, has an impact on the NFL draft because the Miami Dolphins are sitting there at number 6, and they're looking at a generational left tackle in Penny Sewell. This is my belief. Then they go, okay, we got to get rid of somebody. Who can we get rid of? We got to make room for Penny.
Your top performer.
Here you go. Right.
Yeah.
Because Robert Hunt can play on the inside. They got Solomon Kinley, who, you know, for all of his faults, he was pretty solid, I would say, for a 4th-round draft pick, coming in and playing on that offensive line last year.
Serviceable.
He's obviously a Georgia guy, so I'm going to say he can do the job. But Penny Sewell, to me, is a home run, and I think that this is the signal that they're sending of Penny Sewell's off the board at 6. So I think this could throw a wrench into any team that might have had the thoughts that Penny Sewell would fall in their lap, or that they might be able to trade up and get to that spot. In the latest, in the 7-round mock draft, Jeremy had the Carolina Panthers trading up to get Penny Sewell. So now that's not going to be a possibility unless they can get the Atlanta like the Atlanta Falcons are going to do anything to help them out. No, Penny Sewell comes off the board at 6. I think it's the perfect signal that the Dolphins are sending here. You know, I have, even in the story of the trade, it was they still need to take a wide receiver at 6, but maybe later in the draft they can take a tackle. Why? Why would you do that?
If Sewell's available, that makes
Penny
no sense.
Sewell, Rashawn Slater's under him, and then it drops off markedly.
Just like you said yesterday, that's one thing that gets you fired. You know?
Yeah. Not that far. Christian Darrisaw, you put him up there in that group. Jeremy's doing the little nose pointing thing.
Darrisaw in the top 6.
Okay, Darrisaw under Slater, and then is the drop off? Thank you. Okay, I'm getting confirmation. That's the drop off. Excuse me, Christian Darrisaw. Don't mean to throw any shade. But here's the thing. Miami was in a perfect spot to do it. I had thought from the get-go they should do this and just add to that offensive line. Why not? I mean, he's going to be a Pro Bowler. I think he's destined for the Hall of Fame. I know that's putting a lot on the kid, but I haven't seen a tackle like him in a long, long time.
Generational talent is exactly what he is.
I think so.
He's a great addition. You got to protect Tua Tagovailoa. We've been screaming this ever since he came into the league, ever since he left with the leg injury. Got to make sure he's got the protection that he needs. Penei Sewell's a great way to do this. And this is a good business decision as well, because Washington isn't losing anything out of this. They're losing what is it, a 7th round?
7th round pick.
Yeah, a 7th round
They're
pick.
swapping 7th round picks.
Washington is set. They have nothing to lose with this. It's a great decision by Miami. And again, you wait until the 11th hour just to see how kind of how things shake out, but it was on Jeremy's radar early. We've been paying attention to this, and it made the most sense in the world. Surprising that it took this long, but no surprise that it happened.
Yeah, I don't think they're adding a tackle later in the draft. This is a move straight for Penei Sewell. So Penei Sewell's off the board. Market. I would be willing to bet my house that that's the 6th pick in this draft. And this is the difference between well-run organizations and shittily-run organizations. You have the Cincinnati Bengals that are sitting here at 5. They could get the generational left tackle. They have a quarterback with a 9-inch scar on his knee from going down last year. And here you go. You're going to pass him up to take a wide receiver? It's the dumbest thing on the planet. You already have 2 wide receivers. You can get a wide receiver later in the draft, in the 2nd round. Why would you take one at 5? I get it.
Say it louder for the one.
Thank you. Thank you. It's just remarkable to me that Cincinnati Bengals are going to fuck up the 5 pick. Now, is Jamar Chase going to turn into a good wide receiver at the NFL level? I believe he will.
Sure he will.
But making that decision between a guy who could be a couple-time Pro Bowler to a guy who's going to be a perennial Pro Bowler and possibly a Hall of Famer, it's no doubt. No doubt.
Well, where does it all start for Cincinnati? Again, it's just like in Miami. You have to protect Joe Burrow. It's kind of sending a message to Joe Burrow in a way, who said, hey, I want this wide receiver, this guy I played with. And this is the Bengals front office saying, well, we're making this decision out of your best interest, and we're going to protect you, even though it may not be the guy that you want. So, I mean, that's what it comes down to for Burrow. He's got to be able to have the time to run the offense that he's given. He's got to have time to execute the playbook. It only works really in a West Coast offense. If you want to run this, if you want to take the offensive line out of it, it has to move quickly. Cincinnati doesn't move quickly. Joe Burrow moves faster than anybody else on the field.
Right.
So that's the thing. If you're going to slow the game down and run your playbook, you've got to be protected.
And Miami, as a smart franchise, they are going to do the exact opposite of what the dumbasses are going to do. The dumbasses are going to go for a playmaker first, then go for offensive line stability later in the draft. And Miami's going to go, I need stability first. Stability is the number one thing that we need.
Yeah.
We've got some guys who can already make plays, and I can find another guy who's going to be just fine playing with Devontae Parker and the rest of that crew down in Miami. Stability first is the key. And that's the difference between well-run franchises and poorly run franchises. Miami Dolphins are a scary friggin' team, and I'm not going to be surprised if Tua can develop that they are going to be threats to make a Super Bowl here in the next 2, 3, 4 years. I'll give them a 4-year window. Why not?
A little bit of work to do defensively, but they'll get there.
Right.
The offense is set.
Right. I mean, somebody's going to do something weird. Somebody's going to do something weird on draft night. Weirder than taking Jamar Chase at number 5. Somebody's going to be forced into doing something stupid.
I've seen reports. I don't know if Jeremy has seen this or not, but that Jalen Waddle could possibly go over Jamar Chase.
That's dumb.
There's no way.
No, there's absolutely
it came across
no
my
way.
phone.
Absolutely no way. There's nobody. I mean, that would mean that Cincinnati would have to take him.
Right.
Because nobody's taking a wide receiver.
Which is an even bigger FU to
like
Mr.
the Atlanta
Burrow.
Falcons taking a wide receiver at 4. Fuck that. No.
Yeah,
that's Kyle Pitts all day, and it's no doubt. I think everything's sewed up to 6 right now.
Now, Dallas is out of the sweepstakes for Kyle Pitts. That is not going to happen.
No.
The trade is not going to occur.
I mean, Atlanta's going to get offers. Atlanta's going to get calls, and they're just going to keep hanging up because the teams that want to move up there, it's not feasible. Yesterday, Brian was in here with me, and we were talking. I mentioned the mock draft that was in the Chicago Tribune. Brad Biggs did his NFL mock draft. Of course, he's writing for a Chicago paper. He's a Chicago Bears guy. And he writes up, maybe the Chicago Bears will trade up to 4 with the Atlanta Falcons to get Justin Fields. Okay. Well, what would that cost for them to do that? Was my main question. And my knee-jerk reaction was 3 ones. It's going to take you 3 ones to get up there.
I mean, that's a big mountain to climb.
It is a big mountain to climb.
20-4. That's
and here's the thing: every time this discussion has come up, what's been the chat here in the Sportsocracy was that they're not going to do that because the Chicago Bears are not going to give Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace the ability to mortgage the future on a quarterback that you don't know when they're sitting on the hottest seats in the NFL. Mm-hmm. It's dumb. It's not going to happen. But if it did happen, what would that cost? And the fact that we don't know, I've heard so many, I've thrown this out to a few people and so many ranging options of, I think it could be 3 1s. I heard someone say it could be 5 1s. And that, to me, is ridiculous.
That person
is stupid. Exactly. 5-1 is not, you don't have to give up that much to get that high. But the thing is, we don't really know. There's not really a source that can tell us what they're worth. We do have the trade value chart, the Jimmy Johnson trade value chart that is floated out there on so many websites of what each pick is kind of worth, but it doesn't really tell us what future picks are worth. And I've always kind of, formulated in my own head as the years go, you kind of just knock off a round of value. So like if you're going to offer a first round pick for next year, it'd be a little less than a first-round pick this year, but a little more than a 2 this year.
Yeah, it's on a
if you
sliding
look
scale.
at a first-round pick 3 years from now, I would see that as like equal value to a second-round pick this year. And then as the rounds go and the years get back, you kind of knock the value down. That's kind of how I've always kind of tried to make it make sense in my head, but I don't have anything to base that on.
That's the thing. Not all first-round draft picks are created equal. It's hard to apply a blanket value to the first-round pick.
Well, obviously, if it's going to end up in the top 10 of the draft, it's obviously worth a whole lot more than if it's going to end up being a bottom half of the first-round pick.
Right.
Just looking at the Jimmy Johnson trade value chart that's available on several websites. I'm looking at this one on drafttech.com. That's tech with a K. I like the website. It's a pretty useful tool.
Look at you,
but at the first right, but at the first round, the number 1 pick, Jacksonville, they give it a score of 3,000. That's the value that they put to it. The 32nd pick, owned by my Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Super Bowl champions, that pick's worth 590 points. So you got to make up the value. If you wanted to jump from 32 to 1, you'd have to figure out a way to make that happen. Now, obviously, that's an extreme case, would never happen.
That's in the 5 first-round pick territory.
Right, exactly. But then you look at the difference between number 1, or let's take this scenario, number 4, 1,800, number 20 is worth about 850. Mm-hmm. So you got to make up the difference there. And then it's got every pick broken down what you would have to give up. But you're going to have to give up future ones. And what are those future ones worth? I just kind of wish that we had a source to be able to tell us what that value actually is.
Oh, but we do.
And you're going to get it right here in the Sportsocracy tomorrow. See how I did that as a little promo for tomorrow's show. Jeremy and Brian will be in here with you. Don't forget Mullet's mailbag. If you want to be involved in the show, you got questions about the draft, send them in to Jeremy at Greene ESPN on Twitter, or just leave them in the comments here. The Twitter's the better idea, so we can isolate it and be able to put your screen name out there and all of that, and give you credit for the good question.
So we can retweet you and roast
Make sure, I mean, if it's a real dumb question, we may put it out there and make fun of you a little bit.
Stupid questions exist.
No, we wouldn't do that. We wouldn't do that. Answering all questions every day in the Mullet Mailbag. We are the Democratic Republic of Sports. We want to talk about what you want to know, fill you in, and talk about the topics that you want to talk about. And this is just another way for us to do this. So Mullet's Mailbag tomorrow morning. Get your questions in at Greene ESPN on Twitter. But also on the show, they are going to lay out Jeremy's trade value chart, where he's going to give us a guide that we can use, you can trust it. It's going to be one that I trust, because I trust his opinion on these types of things way more than I trust my own. I think I'm pretty close with the difference in the value being 3 first-round draft picks, maybe 2 1s and a 2.
From 20 to 4, I think you're going to get 2 first-rounders for that. If I was a GM, I'm not going to give you 3 first, unless it is a generational talent.
Right.
It's got to be a Kyle Pitts kind of guy,
Right.
But that's a soul-selling situation, though. You're going to give up your entire first round to get one guy. He better be the one.
And if I'm Atlanta, I'm saying no. I mean, even if you're going to give me, if we decide that fair market value is 2 1s and a 2, no, screw you. I'm getting Kyle Pitts. You're not getting up here. If you want to get up here, you're going to have to get stupid. Yeah. You're going to have to give me 4 1s.
I'm not going to trade you for a lateral move. I need to make something off of this.
Exactly. You always turn a profit. Always turn that profit. So, anyway, tomorrow here in the Sportsocracy, Jeremy Greene and Brian Haynes will be in with you. I'm going to be resting up for the NFL draft coverage.
You need a break.
Buddy, we have been balls to the wall with all of the 7-round mock draft videos. Again, to get access to all of those, just hit that subscribe button. You'll know when they come out on the hour, by the hour, throughout the day today, pretty much. We're getting them all out today.
I think 9 are dropping today?
No, we've got 11.
11.
We've got 11 of these going out today, or 12 of these going out today, excuse me. So
carry the one.
Right.
Need a formula for this.
Right. So anywho, it's going to be a whole lot of fun doing all these videos over the next few days, getting you prepped up for the NFL draft. And don't forget that we are going to be here with you throughout all 3 days of the draft, hour by hour, minute by minute.
Mullets blowing in the breeze.
Exactly. I'm still not looking forward to Jeremy and his open shirt with his eagle talisman hanging on his neck and his.
That'll be fun for the first round. It'll be kind of grungy after a couple days.
You're not going all 3 days. No, it's just Thursday. Oh, good. We're getting costumes every day. Excellent. Can't wait.
That's what you're subscribed for.
As well. Exactly. That's why you come to us, because we give you this. As much as we can, unbiased, unfiltered opinions, and
that it is.
And Jeremy's not going to hold anything back, apparently. We all might be a little worse for wears after that, but it is what it is.
Just asking him to hold a little back.
I always like to take the opportunity, though, while you're in here with me, Caleb, to talk a little bit about baseball and
of course.
So give us the recap. So since we spoke last week, what's been going on in the baseball world, and what do we need to be watching? What's the biggest storylines right now in baseball?
It's been a fun week. It really has, because that 162-game season that we keep talking about is progressing, and things are changing, and we're beginning to see the cream rise to the top, just like we planned in the beginning.
Okay.
It was a bad start in the NL East for the Atlanta Braves. There was a 2.5 to 3 game spread between the first place Mets and the Braves, who were actually down in 4th place at one point. Mm-hmm. That has changed. The Braves are surging. They took the first 2 games of this current series against the Cubs. They've won 3 out of their last 4 against the Chicago Cubs. The Frederick situation between Freddie Freeman and Anthony Rizzo, that was one of the better moments of this early 2021 season. But Ronald Acuna Jr. is the story. 481 feet last night. Now, those are 90s numbers. Yep. That's Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa. That's that kind of range that we're talking about. And this kid has never, as far as I know, he's never put a needle inside him. Ronald Acuna Jr. is the real deal. I don't care what division you watch. I don't care if you're a baseball fan. You need to tune into this guy, because he is a ton of fun to watch. The dugout's going crazy. 481 feet. That's a tape measure shot. Freddie Freeman has decided to join the show as well. His bat was cold for the last couple of series. He's hit a couple of homers against the Chicago Cubs over the last few games, and Freeman, he's relaxing. He's beginning to get back to relaxed Freddie. That's who he is. He's not this uptight, ready to charge the mound at every situation like Bryce Harper is. Freddie Freeman's a different player, and he's beginning to get comfortable. That's where he needs to be. The pitching is still the main question mark for Atlanta. That's what's causing me to grind my teeth. It's keeping me up at night, because it's just a problem. But Ian Anderson has been the saving grace for Atlanta. 2.48 on the ERA on the season. He's got a 2-0 record, 31 strikeouts, and the nastiest changeup that you're going to see in the game right now. I mean, it moves like a slider, and it's going to drop 15 miles an hour off. So it's really something to watch. But Max Fried and Mike Soroka set to come back. Even though Drew Smyly has been rough, the rotation is returning for Atlanta, and the Braves are headed back to first place. Mainly, not only because Atlanta's won 6 out of their last 4, but the rest of the division has been awful. I mean, nobody else in the division. Everybody lost last night except for Atlanta in the National League East. Nobody else except for the Nationals have been able to hit 500 over their last 10. So Atlanta's rolling. The rest of the NL East is not. And you've got a half-game spread between first and second place. The NL Central, it's all about the Brewers. Corbin Burns got smoked his last time out against the Marlins, but he still didn't give up a walk, so he's still got a chance to take that record for Kenley Jansen for the most strikeouts to start the season without issuing a walk. But it was a rare stumble from Milwaukee, 8-0. They got destroyed by Miami. It's a well-managed program under Craig Counsell, but St. Louis and the Pittsburgh Pirates, surprisingly. I mean, I don't know where Pittsburgh came from, but both Pittsburgh and St. Louis at 12-11. Nolan Arenado had a web gem yesterday. You're going to want to check that out. So St. Louis is they're a couple of games back in the Central, but that's a division that's a hell of a lot stronger than we thought it was going to be. 4 out of the 5 teams above 500.
What about the NL West? Is this really a rivalry now between the Dodgers and the Padres?
Oh, it is. It's still early. The Giants are awesome early on. 15-9. The San Francisco Giants and Buster Posey have started out hot, but it's still early. The Padres are a much better team than San Francisco and Arizona both. Even though San Diego is way down in 4th place, they're still 13-12. They took 3 out of 4 from the Dodgers, but then they got swept out of a 3-game series against the Brewers. So even if you win in your division, you got to win elsewhere throughout your league. I mean, if you're losing series outside of the NL West, you're still not going to win your division.
Gotcha. So, and we all know that over in the American League, Boston's still the king.
Oh, they
are.
I mean, it's still early, but Xander Bogaerts is the real deal, and the pitching staff is really solidified in Boston. That's kind of something that was surprising to me. They're not giving up as much runs as I thought they were going to.
It's early. 12 comeback games this year. 12 comeback games, the most in the major leagues for the Red Sox.
For sure.
So it's been a special year.
And a 3-game lead over the Blue Jays and the Rays, who were tied for 2nd place. So a little bit of a cushion. I didn't expect Boston to get out to that much of a lead in the AL East, but if they can maintain that through the end, through the end of July, past the All-Star break, they're going to be in the driver's seat. And New York. 5-5 over the last 10. The bats are heating up, but New York is not great. Garrett Cole is all they can rely on the mound, and New York is taking themselves out of this race, so that'll be something to keep an eye on as well. In the AL Central, the Kansas City Royals are the upstart kids. That's been the surprise of the season for me, as Patrick Mahomes has inserted his money and his magic into that team.
Right.
The next thing you know, they've turned it around. It's a really positive program as well. So Kansas City at 14-8, they've got a 2-game lead over Tim Anderson and the Chicago White Sox, and that's going to be a rivalry that tightens up over the summer. Just keep an eye on that. Quickly in the AL West, I know we need to get out of here, but the Oakland A's had a 13-game winning streak over the month of April. They're 8-2 over their last 10. Laureano and company are just phenomenal. I thought trading Marcus Semien out of Oakland would take a little bit of pop out of that lineup, and they are swinging for the fences. Seattle at 13-11. Seattle had the best record in the AL in the American League for the majority of the beginning of this season. And they've gone 4-6 over the last 10. They're 13-11 overall. But anytime you win 13 games in a row, that's going to give you a good bit of a pat. I don't care what division you're in. So the Oakland A's, surprisingly hot, and it looks like they're going to stay that way at least through May.
No, Alex Santer, I disagree. I don't think we need to check for buzzers or trash cans or any of that stuff. Things are going well in Boston. And don't look over here. That's the only thing I can say. Baseball is fun, and I like the early stages of this season. It's still super early, though. So many games left in the season. You can't really pinpoint things just yet, but the deeper and deeper you get into the season, obviously, the window closes for comebacks in divisions. The game itself, though, they keep toying with all of these rule changes, and different leagues are trying out new things to spice up the game, and we got a doozy of one.
This is fun.
That has been that is going to be taking place in the Pioneer League. It's an independent league, but they're also now considered a partner league with Major League Baseball and all of the minor league shift that happened over this past offseason. The Pioneer League is going to change their extra innings rules. They're not doing extra innings anymore. They are now going to decide tied ball games at the end of the 9th inning with a home run derby competition. They're going to have the first round is going to be a knockout round. You're going to get to choose your own batter. You choose the batter. He goes up. He gets 5 pitches. I'm guessing from the pitching coach. I mean, that's how they would do a normal home run derby. You're not going to have the other team throwing to them in a home run competition, because obviously that has all kinds of issues. But they're going to get 5 pitches. They're going to hit as many home runs as they can. If it's still tied after that, then you choose a second batter for the sudden death round. that is just going to be homer for homer until it's over, until somebody hits a home run or until one of them stops hitting home runs. I actually like it. I mean, I get it's the independent league. It's just a thing to try it out. But you know what? I know the old guy baseball fans hate this thing. I'm sure you do too.
I don't.
Do you not?
I don't hate it.
Okay,
no,
all right.
I'm fine
this
with
is a surprise.
because
I thought you were more of a staunch old man.
I'm fine with this because it's not Major League Baseball.
Aha! So if they did it in Major League Baseball, it would be bastardizing the game, and
I'd have a little more of a problem with it if at the top level of the game you want to start doing this. But what this is the equivalent of the AFL putting the Arena Football League putting those nets up behind the uprights, so you couldn't have a touchback. So you had to play the ball off of the net, and the ball was live. Obviously, that's not the rule of NFL football, but that made the game a lot of fun.
It did.
That was one reason I tuned into AFL over the summer months. One, because I wanted to see some football, and two, because the rules were so different. It was such an entertaining game to watch. And this is going to put the Pioneer League on that next pedestal. It's going to have them standing alone for a little while. All eyes are going to be on the Pioneer League to see how this action turns out. This hockey-style shootout to end the game, if you will. So this, I mean, I guess it's going to be the same, right? If you win there's not going to be any ties. There's not going to be any kind of, if you win the home run derby, you get the win outright.
Yep.
I like it. I've got no problem with it.
But if it was in the major leagues, you would.
I would. This is not the game of baseball.
I don't know that I would. I mean, I want to see how it works out. Look, you got me with the extra base runner and extra innings. You got me there because I like it. I like putting a guy on second place. It speeds it up, puts a guy in scoring position immediately. We don't have to go through these 15, 16, 18-inning ball games anymore. I like the extra base runner. They got me with that. I'm into the home run derby because to me, the one thing about the baseball season that I never miss is the home run derby. I mean, I sat out World Series games for the first time last year in a long time. Now, obviously, I checked in on it.
Right.
But this is something that I will never miss is the home run derby. If you could put a home run derby in every game, I'm in.
Now, I think what people need to realize is you're not going to be seeing these 481-foot homers. This is not the best of the best in the Pioneer League. You're not going to be seeing towering moonshots. I mean, these are going to be a little more average. This is more of your backyard Joe kind of a league.
And if it doesn't add enough spice to the game, they can always start using aluminum bats and they can do the gold balls and all that kind of stuff.
A 12-year-old can hit the ball with an aluminum bat. It's not baseball.
But it adds intrigue. That's the thing. The thing that baseball's missing is some intrigue. I get that it's not the old school way of just pitching it across the plate and see who comes out on top. And God, it's got to take 7 hours to finish a ball game. I'm out. And remember, faster games, faster resolutions to games. And if the home run derby, if the home run derby is the thing that makes it work, I doubt we'll ever see it in the major leagues, but hey, maybe it'll creep up to the Asheville Tourists. Maybe minor league baseball will get into this and start using it, and we can see some home run derbies to finish off games at McCormick Field. I am all in for that.
You know what? That's probably the thing that saves minor league baseball.
Could
be.
You
want to see McCormick Field here in Asheville full?
Yeah.
Have a home run derby.
Yeah, you want to twist up the rules a little bit to get more butts in the seats in ththese smaller ballparks? I'm all for it.
I would pay good money to see that.
And then after a couple of years, I'll be interested to try it out in the major leagues. I'll be honest with you, I really, really would. Chicks dig the long ball, and you can add some sudden death to baseball in a couple of swings. That's the thing. You can have sudden death now when bottom of the ninth situation or bottom of the 10th situation. Okay, you score, you win. That adds some drama. However, this will be so much quicker. And again, I think that's what we all should be in on, saving time. We don't have a lot of time to save today because we got so many more 7-round mock draft videos to put out to get you prepped up for the NFL draft. Don't forget, we will be live right here in the Wicked Weed studio for all 3 days of the draft, starting at 7 o'clock. On Thursday night. Tomorrow morning here in the Sportsocracy, we will have the trade value chart, Jeremy Greene style, that's going to give us the insight on what draft picks are actually worth year to year, and Mullet's mailbag. Get those questions in, draft questions tomorrow. It's going to be draft-centric for a long time, and Jeremy can flap his gums, so it may be an extended show tomorrow here in the Sportsocracy with Mullet's Mailbag. Get in your questions right now at Greene ESPN on Twitter.
It's going to be angry. It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be a whole lot of fun over the next few days, and we are glad you're on the ride with us. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We are oh so close to 1,000 subscribers. We thank everybody that has already subscribed to the channel, shared it out to all your friends. You haven't shared it to enough of them, though. So we need you to get more. We are having a whole lot of fun here. Love the subscriptions. Love the feedback that we're getting. Keep that rolling in because we are trying to build a new kind of sports community here in the Sportsocracy. Don't forget anything that you want talked about, just shoot it to us. We want you to be a producer on this program, and so we can bring you more content that you want to see.
Quickly, Tank, we have rebuilt our Instagram. We've started a TikTok channel as well, and we're working on getting our Facebook and other social media up to speed as well. So check us out on all platforms of social media. Again, the TikTok channel is brand new, and the Instagram, we're building that from the ground up. So come be a part of that. It's a lot of fun.
And don't
OnlyFans too. If you
oh God, Jeremy started an OnlyFans.
He's on the cheap end.
no dicks, just pics.
Oh, okay, good. This is the gambling thing. No dicks, just pics on the OnlyFans. I wouldn't subscribe to that just because I'd be afraid that you might show your donker, and I don't want to see that.
Cut to commercial. That's a commercial.
Jingle out. We're done. In the Sportsocracy, I'm Tank Spencer. He's Caleb Peak. We will see you next time right here in the Sportsocracy, live from the Wicked Weed studio. WickedWeedBrewing.com. Drink different.